It's that time of the year when the landscape photographer for the year is announced, and we have the winner. The winner is Mick Doherty, as we can see on screen. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through as a viewer of landscape photography, as just a normal person, someone who dabbles in this genre, and I'm going to see what I like, what I dislike about each of the images. It would be great to see if you agree or disagree with any of my comments below. So this is the overall winner and the change in landscape winner from Mick Doherty. What I like about this is the use of symmetry that is going on in quite a simple scene. So this is a type of scene that you can probably see in woodland all over the country. Maybe not exactly the same as this, but I think what I love about this image is that you don't have to go to the big waterfalls, the big mountains, the big showstopper locations to be able to get a really nice image. I love that you've got the symmetry on each side. So it's kind of the two trees here close to the edge of the frame match these trees over here. Either side of the main tree, there's a bit of symmetry as well. But then just to offset the symmetry that's going on, the sun just peeking out through the background just gives a nice bit of contrast on that one side and just pulls it away from being just a one-dimensional image with this tree in the middle. It's quite a soft edit on this in places, so I quite like some of the more muted colours that you've got here. However, for my taste, the vignette is a little bit too strong, especially in these corners down the bottom, and then especially in this right hand corner at the top. I just think that's a little bit too dark for my liking. It makes it a bit too obvious that you're trying to vignette into the middle. One thing I'd also like to see with this image, just for another shot, I would love to get a wide angle shot and get really close to this tree and shoot upwards, almost as if this tree was really imposing on you. You can distort the image from the bottom. I'd love to see what that would look like, because you would almost have the leader of the army here and then the cavalry behind. In general, I like it. Do I think it's the best, most pleasing image for me to look at from all of the winners this year? Probably not. But I can appreciate it, definitely. Second one is the bird's eye view winner, and this is Ian Masterton. I think in the landscape photographer of the year over the years, you don't really see many very saturated images. You see a lot of moody shots, quite a lot of muted tones, a bit like the previous image, to be honest. It's really nice to see a picture that's got some real pop into it. You've got these bright yellows and oranges, the green in the middle, the blue around the outside with the reflection of some clouds. It leaves me with a little bit of a wondering of what this actually is. Is it a castle? It looks quite small. Is it a watchtower? Is this actually really high? But from the perspective that we're seeing it, you can't tell. So there's a few questions that you have, which is always great for an image. For me personally, it's a little bit too basic, especially compared to some of the other images in the category, but each to their own. So well done for Ian Masterton there. Black and white winner, Nick Green. I really like this. The use of contrast with the colours on this tree just pops so well. And the way that this has been edited, I just think really works. And that we've got kind of a leading line going up to the tree works really well here. It's quite a dramatic sky in the background. It's quite obvious what the photo's taken of. Personally, I would like to have seen a little bit more of a crop. It's quite heavy on the left-hand side of the frame, so I'd have liked to have maybe cropped some of this left-hand side out of the frame. And then just some tiny, really picky pieces. I think maybe try and find an angle where these branches aren't touching the rocks here or have some separation, and the same for this bit here. It's probably impossible to do. I don't know the location, but for me that would have created even more of a separation of this tree, possibly like the first shot. Maybe sit down here and get a shot of the tree looking upwards might have created some of that, but a nice shot nevertheless. Well done to Nick Green. This is Andrew Smith, the Cityscapes winner. Well done, Andrew. Great planning of this shot. I think it's quite obvious what you can do with this shot. There's probably many people that have gone here and thought of something similar, but to plan this shot and get it across works really well. I think this would look fantastic in black and white. This is really vibrant and I love the colours, but I do think the contrast of these colours with the person almost silhouetted here would work really well. I would ideally like to see it cropped on the right. So I think you could have all of these lines intersecting in the top right hand side of the crop and then come down, and then that way you would be able to crop out this lamppost here. So you'd almost start it here, go across and then crop down. I think that would work a little bit better. I do find this a little bit distracting, but some people don't like cropping. That's fine. Overall, a pleasing image. Again, in this category, I did prefer some of the other entrants, but that's the beauty of photography. There's everyone's got their own personal taste. Next one is Julian Delaval in the classic view. A really well-known location, as are all the classic views. Really well exposed, lovely light coming through from behind the rock face here. Again, I think this one would look quite nice in black and white as well. Very moody editing, some real nice light in the background. The opposite to the drone shot we saw earlier, where it's really saturated, this is the kind of image, especially in this location, you do see quite a lot of desaturated, almost monotone images. You can see some of the hues have been changed in the greens to make them a bit more yellow here. So you've got that consistent color running throughout. I personally quite like that style, and I think if you had a super vibrant shot of this location, it probably wouldn't work. But the problem with the classic view is you have seen these views an awful lot. I have this exact image here taken myself. I've seen some people have kind of small people walking down here for a bit of scale. But this is a really nice shot. And again, the light coming through, really dramatic sky. It's an overall pleasing image. If I'm being really picky, I don't know if this is a resolution of the image online, but there are some haloing of the images here, so kind of over editing in places, but I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt, and that's actually the screen and the resolution online. I don't know if that would come out on a printed version. Then we move on to the coastal winner, Daniel Ruffles. Congratulations, Daniel. First of all, fair play to going out in this weather. It looks like quite a hard day to go and shoot. It can be difficult to get your exposure right when the snow is coming down like this. It looks very bleak here, and it looks quite desolate and alone. You can't really see the horizon. You can't see anything past the fog in the background. Apart from the boat, you'd struggle to actually see if it was a coastal location at all. And I think there's a lot of intrigue in this image. I like the birds on the right hand side of this image. I wish there was somehow we could have had them a little bit more center of frame. And there's a nice use of negative space at the top. I think that really works well for this image and draws your eye down to the focal piece that we have here on the boat. I don't really think there's any flaws for me for this image. It's hard to pick out anything that I really dislike about this image. So congratulations to Daniel. The next one is possibly one of my favorites, if not my favorite, from all of these winners. And this is the Expressions and Impressions of the Landscape winner by Terry Gibbons. There's just so much to take in about this image. What I love the most is how the color graduates from this cold white bottom, and then as we go up through the frame, it becomes warmer. You've got the leading lines of the road leading towards probably the only sense of warmth in this photo, to be honest, which is inside that taxi right there. You can feel how cold it is when I look at this image. I wouldn't want to be standing over here at the bus stop for too long in this image. Taxi is definitely the most comfortable place to be here. I think the editing's really nice. I love this bokeh effect that we've got on the light and the snow above. Great use of motion blur, so I assume they're following in a car behind. It's just a great shot for me. One I can see being on a wall somewhere for sure. So congratulations to Terry for that one. And the final one that I will run through today is the overall runner-up by Stuart McLennan, and personally my favorite of all of these photos. I could genuinely look at this image for an awful long time. The lighting and the editing of this image is just beautiful. It's something I would hang on my wall. It's a drone shot that I absolutely love to see. One, because I just don't know how to do these types of drone shots, but two, it's so different to what we're normally used to seeing in landscape photography, and this is just a different perspective. I have so many questions when I look at pictures like this. What is it? Where is it? What's happening? And that's what really intrigues me about this. And then the edit is really well done. It's soft edit. I think it flows well throughout the image. So well done to Stuart. There's not really anything bad that I have to say about this image. And personally, for me, I would have had this as the overall winner for this year. Obviously, I didn't see all of the thousands and thousands of entries. But anyway, I would love to see or hear what you think in the comments. If you agree, disagree. Remember, I'm just a completely average landscape photographer and a normal person viewing images as I would if I was putting them on the wall or just like to look at them online. There's probably a lot of technical stuff that I've missed out today that I don't understand or I don't know yet. So please let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. And as part of this series, I'll probably look back to some of the previous years as well, just to see how landscape photography has evolved over the years. So please tune in for more and we'll speak soon.